Artisan Cutlery. Let's check it out, shan't we? On the end, it says it's a Cleo. It's sand polished. S90V blade, copper handle. What? The Cleo. Comes in a box with magnetic opening. And there you go. Artisan. What do we got? We got paperwork. What do we got? We got a microfiber cloth. All right. Nothing else. Okay. So we're good there. We're good there. We're all cooked up. Nice box. All that kind of good stuff. And here's the knife. Here's the knife. Are you timing me on like how long does it take LTK to get the knife out to show everybody, or is he gonna sit there and just yabber? There you go. Now, see the knife? You happy now? Okay, Cleo. Finger click it. Little knife, not very big. Where's my eutectic binary? There you go. See? Well, I had to get a binary because I don't want to be non-binary. Oh, are we past those years yet? Oh my God, please. But if you got my little Main Street, then what are we talking about? Wow, it's not a whole lot bigger than my little Main Street, which is pretty damn tiny. How about my little CJRB knife? Hold on. This isn't the... Oh, God. Now, I forgot the name of this particular one. It's not the Pyrite. The Pyrite's the one with the Warncliffe type blade. There's that. Not much bigger than those little dogs. Those are my little knives that sit on my table for some reason. Because I use them. And then, oh, another one. Let's see my poor beat-up paramilitary, too. And, of course, I haven't cleaned the blade. I do, in between, but then I just keep using it and not cleaning it. So, okay, here's the paramilitary 2 and all its loveliness. And here it is. But this little dog is like $139.99. All right, and I don't think it's an exclusive or anything on Artisan. It might be. If you catch this on White Mountain Knives, and it's $140 on Artisan, and it's $140 on White Mountain, then LTK, discount code 10% off on White Mountain, so that'd be $14 off. So $140, $130, $100 and what, $26? And it's S90V blade, as you can see. Look at this copper. It is kind of interesting. It looks like a metal flake, almost. Interesting, especially in the sunlight. If you saw my Instagram post on this thing, wow. It really glitters in the direct sun. But you know what? This is kind of strange. I mean, it didn't come sealed, which a lot of, it came in this. So it wasn't vacuum sealed with no air, which I thought was interesting because, as soon as the air gets to it, it starts to patina or oxidize. But you know what? Maybe they put some kind of a coating on here, something that hasn't started oxidizing yet. I don't know how long it takes before it actually starts showing the patina starting onto the thing. And then some people take these knives that have copper handles and they shipwreck them, right? I mean, they do a heavy patina where it's, you see the green oxidation patina and this and that. Was it Heretic Knives did that kind of thing? They had a pen, tactical pen they did in that shipwreck patina, and then they had a knife that had scales that had that. And I thought it looked awesome. And I know some people do it themselves. There's a way to do that. So, oh well, here it is, the Cleo. It's a button lock. It's not very big. It's very fidget friendly. It's small, easy to carry, nice little gent carry. And who is the designer guy? I keep forgetting his name. Copper. And do they not? Oh, yeah. Johan, is it Johhan? So Johan Jordan? Okay, I think is he a South African? Something like that. I can't remember. That's the guy. That's the guy. I always like to acknowledge the designers on these knives because the Cleo's been out. You can get it in titanium S90V. You can get it in whatever. You can get it in a bunch of different iterations. But this is the newest one in the copper. And, you know, I think it's going to be definitely heavier than the titanium one because that copper adds weight, but then it's such a small knife, it's not appreciable. There's 107 grams. So when it's close to 100 grams, it's a light carry knife, you know. But let's go back to ounces. And we're at 3.7 ounces. Kind of heavy for a small knife, but not uncarryable at 3.7 ounces for anybody, right? And so let's get this up here. What do we got? 2.5 inch blade with 5 7/8 overall length, you know, inches, and then about 15 centimeters overall length. Wow. So no, it's not. It's not very. And you know what? Probably should bring my stand down a little bit. Then again, I always want room to move around and not be out of the frame. Let's check this as well. 9.8 millimeters, so it's definitely not, what do we got? 0.38. That's pretty slender in the pocket. 0.09, 2.3 millimeter blade stock of S90V. So it should be a nice, good usable blade with, good edge retention. It's a crucible powder metallurgy. It's not weight relieved on the inside. I don't know if that would have been a smart move or not, to tell you the truth. But this definitely does give it some heft. And here's the button lock, which is typical. You know, you got a spring behind that plunger there. Comes back out, kind of creates some kind of a detent effect. And it's not moving around on the detent here. And it's centered. And then the lockup is solid. And here's your lockup percentage here. You can see the amount of interference it does with the back of the blade, which is like probably 40 to 50%, it looks like, in there. So it should be good. I mean, button locks are probably the knives that as far as, you know, the stability and the redundancy of the lock, I'd say button locks are the least, right? They're a little bit edgy there. And then things like lockbacks or triad locks, things like that are extremely tough and good. And then liner locks just depends. And then, you know, inverse liner lock, kind of compression lock thing, I think those are pretty good. But, you know, anytime you have a folding knife, you ought to treat it as if it's a friction folder or a, slip joint type thing. I mean, I never completely trust them, obviously. But, wow. And let's just give it an old kind of test cut just to see. No, there's no nicks or any problems with the blade there. And it is wildly sharp. This is wildly sharp. So, okay, that's really, really good. So, can you imagine getting this for like 126 S90V copper handle? If you like copper, if you're not a copper handle fan, it's probably not your knife, is it? And if you don't like the design that well, this is not your knife. But if you want a gent carry that's slender and you like the copper and you're a pretty good fan of crucible powder, high-end metals with good edge retention, this might be your knife. It'd be hard to beat $126, wouldn't it? I mean, after discount, blah, 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 that kind of thing. But yeah, that'd be something. There's not a lot out there that'll do that. Ergos, it's just a 3-finger knife though, isn't it? That's all she is, folks. Unless you slide up here. Now, you can get all your fingers on here because you got this big choil. And some people like a big choil like this. Maybe on a knife like this is pretty acceptable. And some people feel like you're just wasting cutting edge, right? You could probably get another 1/3 of an inch out of this blade. But, I mean, for a knife that's meant to be a small knife and a discreet carry, then it's not that big a deal, I don't think. You've got texturing here. This is nice on the copper handle, both sides. And, of course, you don't have the frame partially cut away because this is not a frame lock, any of that kind of stuff. And you got a titanium pocket clip, and it's reversible. If you been looking at these holes on this side. So, I mean, you're going to have the holes if you're going to have a reversible clip situation. So that's another consideration as well. But I think it looks fine. I don't think that doesn't bother me. And if you're a lefty, that's definitely a big plus. But titanium pocket clips are okay. Sometimes less okay than others. I mean, my preference for a performance clip is a stamped clip, but I mean, you can't do it on a dressed up knife. So it just doesn't look right. So yes, you got to do a titanium mill clip, and it is, and it looks fine. It's the Cleo from Artisan Cutlery. I'll give you the link to Artisan. I'll also include a link to White Mountain and all that kind of stuff. Check it out, and you guys stay sharp.